Greetings, y'all. It is Matt from the Grain Arcade. Good morning. Or good afternoon, good evening, good night, you know, the whole spiel. We're back. We're playing some more Farming Simulator 25. We're back in Judith Plains, Montana. And, yeah, today's FarmCon day as well. They're having FarmCon over there across the pond in somewhere. I don't remember exactly where. It's over in Europe somewhere. So far we've gotten one piece of equipment. We got a Lindner GeoTrack tractor. This is in the mod hub. This might be the first of multiples, but so far that's the only thing we've got. When was the last one? We got the last FarmCon. We got 2 or 3 tractors. But so far right now it's just the Lindner. Lindner? I can't even say it. It's one of those across the pond tractors. So, yep, it's out there. It's in the mod hub. Go grab it. Right now, we have fueled up our combine back here behind me over at the Casey's gas station. Had me some breakfast pizza. It was very yummy, very good. But we're going to head down and harvest some beans. We're actually heading to our last field. I have harvested every field that we own, I do believe. We got the big field. We got the Pac-Man field. Yeah, I even cut all the alfalfa and the clover. Cut the grass. Oh, there's a save. That's another thing too. I'll have to show you guys this when we get kind of active and going here. I got a new mod. Let's see. Harvested that one. This is the last one that I did, and we're right here at the gas station. So we're going to head down the highway here. We're going to the boot field down here. That should be, I'm double checking. That should be the last field though. So let's get rolling. I've got a truck down there already. I think I'm just going to do it myself. That makes sense. Turn all my lights on. We do have some beans in the tank here, so we'll probably, might be a good idea to go ahead and empty out when I get down there. So yeah, the new mod, you'll notice as I'm playing, if you're actually watching, there might be like a stutter that only lasts like half a second, or maybe a half a second to a second. You'll see a little stutter. It's almost like a little bit of lag, or like a little bit of drop framage. It only lasts for half a second. That is the autosave mod. I got this out of the in-game PC mod hub. That is the autosave mod saving the game. While I was mowing some of the open lots down south, I mowed them and then I was merging them up. My power decided to go out, so I lost all that work. I had to go back and mow all the fields again. Had to go back and merge all the fields again. I was just finishing up the merging when the power went out, and the power goes out for a second or two, maybe 2 seconds, just enough to turn my computer off and lose everything that I did. So I was like, you know what? I gotta find something. So I went into the mod hub and found this autosave mod. You'll notice, you'll see it. It's a lot better than going into, like, when I go into the menu. And a lot of you might know this. When you have your autosave on, it doesn't actually save until you actually go into, like, your menu, like there. So you remember how when you go into the menu like this, it would save and it would take like 6 or 7 seconds to actually save the game because this is a 4X map? We don't have that anymore. We should not have that anymore. Unless you're in the menu while it's saving. That's the only thing, because it just did it. So if you're in the menu, and I've got it set to 10 minutes instead of 5, because 5 would just be crazy. So I've got it set to 10 minutes. You might notice a little bit of like stutter here and there, but to me, As long as it's auto saving and it cuts that long save out, I'm all for it. All for it. Good morning, Twitchy. Good morning, Fuzzy. Good morning, Yeti. Good morning, AC Gaming. How's it going? Yeah, last night in America was a blast, literally. It, all the fireworks and stuff going off. Whew, man, sounded like a war zone. It was something. It might have been in a few places, but yeah, it was pretty rough. Just a lot of booms, a lot of bangs, a lot of yeah. Some of them got close. All right, I'm gonna put my header on right here. I'm gonna try to turn around and back up and empty some of these beans out before I get started. Alright. I've got all the corn cut. Got, this is the last field of beans. And I've already filled up the soy milk production at the dairy, so all the beans that we're cutting now are going into the silo. Probably, what I'll probably do is before summertime, because the time to sell actual beans is in the summertime. What I'll do is probably take another load of beans and fill up the dairy production once more, and then we'll have a surplus of beans. So I'll probably end up selling some beans outright. So not a problem though if we're full on the soy milk. All right, let's do that right there. Actually, I want to go to this. For right now, we'll show the lines. Okay. Should show up. I'm just going to kind of cut into the field here. There they are. Somebody turned off the sun. Woohoo! That's the custom DJ lighting coming in. So there's the sunrise now. Alright, last field of beans. Last field, really, to harvest. I've been picking up some of the soybean straw, selling that. That's why we've got 150. Matter of fact, I can probably go pay back a little on the loan. We do have silage to sell. I'm almost nervous to go see if there's anything on sale. I bought the R40, 43, 45, 49, I can't remember the number. The John Deere sprayer, I bought that because it was on sale. It was like 50% off. But that's the only piece of it that I bought, because you can buy the solid spreader or the sprayer rig that goes on it, but that was not on sale. So all I bought was the machine itself, the vehicle itself. I'm switching it up this morning. Normally I drink my coffee, aka my Dr. Pepper. I have got a, what is this, by the way? It is a chocolate protein drink. I don't know, it's they sell it at Sam's Club. They had a big thing of it at Sam's Club, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try those. And it's actually not bad. It's like a chocolate shake. It's a Fairlife chocolate shake thing. So yeah, it's not bad. I do have a Dr. Pepper on standby over here though. I'll probably be diving into that after I finish the chocolate shake. Yay! Had me a really nice cheeseburger yesterday. Had some hot dogs for the 4th of July. Watched all my 4th of July movies. The Patriot, Independence Day, the National Treasure movies. I don't know if those really qualify, but I mean, I think they kind of do. They're both about American history. The first one's about the Declaration of Independence, which is kind of the whole point anyway. And then the second one is kind of more about the Lincoln assassination, but it goes through like a lot of America stuff. So can't see my line. Alright, I'm just gonna hit it and it's locking in, so it is engaging. So yeah, the goal today, finish these fields off. We're gonna be completely done after this one. There are some fields that I'm kind of interested in buying, but they're not ready yet. Anything in the bright green I started kind of looking at. So bright green, you have one up here. That's see, I'm in the menu. So normally this is what we'd go through the last time. But if you're in the menu, I guess it automatically saves it even if you're in the menu. So you have to wait a little longer for that kind of save. So yeah, growth, bright green. This is a canola field. That's a canola field. There is a barley field right here. It's kind of pricey. 1.3 million. We've never backed down from pricey fields though. I think that's pretty evident and obvious with the last cornfields we bought. I had my doubts whether we were going to be able to buy those fields, but we were determined. We had tools and we had the talent. That's what was his name? Winston on the Ghostbusters. We neutralized it. You know what that means? A complete protonic reversal. And we had the tools, and we had the talent. But seriously, no, we did. We kind of made that the goal, and we did a ton of contracts. Oh man, so many contracts. Got lucky. Had some really decent contracts pop up. When was that? Was it yesterday? No, it was Thursday night. I was watching John's stream over there, PumaPlow, twitch.tv/PumaPlow, and I had a $81,500 and something contract pop up on that field up in the far northeast, the very northeast field on the map, and it was for cultivating, so I didn't have to use any fertilizer or anything like that. But yeah, got lucky, had that one, completed that one. We have a big cultivator, so it was not a chore. So we have that field, that barley field there. I remember seeing more. Oh yeah, there's another one right here. This one's a little bit better, 370. And is that barley? I don't think that's barley. Can't, how do you click out of it? Okay, there we go. I think that's potatoes. Yep, that's potatoes. So never mind. So that's got to be winter barley then, right? Good morning, CM Gaming. How's it going? So yeah, kind of interested in those fields. Gonna keep an eye out for what they plant in the spring. Let me just go see what's on sale. Yeah, there's one of those trailers. And it's only 40% off though. And we don't need the round baler thing. I did acquire something else though. And I was happy to stumble across it and find it. I was a bit leery of acquiring it. But after testing it out and using it, I'm kind of happy I got it. We have all our windrowers here. We had the Colossus. This is the one we had. Key point had. We have the Oxbow merger. Woohoo! This is the 2340 Oxbow merger. This is the one that I've been wanting for a while. It's 12 meters, so basically you can do a 24 meter swath with it, or row with it. You can row up 24 meters width of grass or hay or alfalfa or clover. So yeah, we have the Oxbow. Don't ask me where I found it because I don't remember. I really don't. It was on one of the, I won't say it was a questionable sketchy site, but it was one that I don't normally download from, and it was one of the better ones, I'll say. Some of them are very sketchy. Some of them you have to go through the process of actually downloading it. There's a lot of extra little buttons or stuff like that is just like spam or ads or something like that. Something weird, it'll take you to a whole nother page, something like that. This was a download directly to the file itself, to the zipped file. So it was kind of like downloading it off of the itch.io. So it wasn't on the itch.io. But I checked it out, and I was a little leery of doing it first, but I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna take it on the test map, test it out, tested it, checked it out, made sure it was legit. Make sure it was good. Basically, it looks like just a straight convert from Farming Simulator 22. So we have our beloved Oxbow merger now. And naturally, I sold the other windrower that we had right back. And I did a little bit of liquidation. Also sold one of the Fords. It wasn't really that difficult of a decision to sell one of them. I sold the smaller one. I sold the small 976 Ford. Basically, oh, okay, he's gotta get on the line here. There we go. Basically, it was just kind of underpowered for what it was. It was like 300 and something horsepower. So I sold the 976. We still have the 1156 Ford. Gonna hang on to that one, at least, for a bit. Probably hang on to it. It's our cultivating tractor, so we'll keep it for that at least. The only problem with it is it's very slow. So we may reserve that one for contracts on one particular section of the map, and then acquire something else later, maybe on sale, to do the rest. So yeah. And then we might end up selling it down the road. You never know. A lot of the older equipment, a lot of times you have to sell it. You have to part of the game. Progress. Your equipment, your farm, expand your equipment. And move along. So that's part of the whole deal. And to think we started with, smaller tractors and smaller combines. We had the Gleaner and we had the old Massey. And we do have some silage to sell, but the silage prices right now are not that great. So I'm going to hang on. I haven't even checked the contract list. I think it's still the same. I think I've done all the ones that I really want to do. Yeah, no more really good flying ones. Yeah, that probably won't change until November. Which is, well, we're about halfway through October right now, so. What'd you guys think about the new, expansion announcement? We're going to the Scotland Highlands. Gonna have fish. Gonna have all kinds of fish. We can barbecue it, boil it, broil it, fry it, stir fry it, saute it. There's coconut fish, pepper shrimp, not shrimp. See, I done messed up. Yeah, I'm going down the shrimp spiel from Bubba. But yeah, we're getting into fish, so that's gonna be interesting to see how that works. Judging from the little video, their little premiere video they did, it's very interesting, very very cool. I gotta say, I'm looking forward to the map. The map itself. It's based in the Scotland Highlands. So, looking at that map, there's the stutter. See the stutter? That was the save. See, that's all we got to go through, and then it saves in the background on its own. Don't have to worry about the game crashing anymore. We'll be able to go back within the last 10 minutes of what we were doing. So, if my power goes out, if the internet goes out, anything like that happens, or the game crashes or something, knock on wood, we will be able to recover and not have, hours of work lost. But yeah, the Scotland Highlands, to me, I got to watching the video and I started picking it apart, and the train on there is a steam train. But just looking at the train, looking at the train cars, looking at the surrounding buildings and stuff, especially like in the towns and stuff, looking at the design, looking at we've got the Highland cows that we're gonna have too. Yeah, I'm ready for it. In a way, it really reminds me of Harry Potter. Like the first 2 Harry Potter movies, because the train, I mean, it's all that was filmed in Scotland. So like all the externals, the train scenes, and some of it was CGI, but overall the train scenes, all that, the countryside scenes, and all that stuff that you see, I think even the Hogwarts castle, even though that wasn't real, I think they filmed that somewhere in Scotland. And the lake scenes and everything, that was all done in Scotland. Now, the castle, and the bridge, and all that stuff, all that was added in with CGI and computers and stuff like that. But yeah, we're gonna be farming near Hogwarts. Wouldn't that be cool if somebody did a Hogwarts castle mod? Man, that would be a mod, wouldn't it? That would be the file size on that one. If somebody really did a Hogwarts castle placeable farmhouse, you'd have to make it a farmhouse because you'd want to sleep there, I guess. But you could also put like sell points on it, or stuff like that. Maybe a shop, stuff like that. Just a little place to, park all your equipment and stuff like that. That, can you imagine if you did it to detail, can you imagine the file size of that thing? It would be huge. Very huge. Thank everybody stayed up and partied pretty late last night because I'm watching my camera out the front here. And normally, on a Saturday morning, or any morning for that matter, things are, you know, hopping along. You know, there's usually cars going by. There's usually, you know, the neighbors outside. I see no neighbors, like no vehicles, no neighbors walking around, and I see no cars going down the road. So I think everybody is sleeping in this morning. I'm gonna go ahead and empty because I'm here. When we get done with this field, I think the goal is probably to sell the straw, get the straw sold off, get the silage sold that we have. And actually, you know, you go and look at the fermenting silos. This is the first time I've had all 4 products in a silo. So we've got, this is the red farm, this is alfalfa, it's got chaff, got the corn chaff in it, it's got the clover in it, and it's got the grass in it. So it's producing right along, and it's got, this one's actually got 600,000 liters in it. So fireworks were late last night in your area. Didn't start until 10:30. Wow, that's pretty late. Yeah. Our fireworks, we had a show. It started, I want to say it started at 8:30ish. Eight 8:39ish. I've got a little bit in a grain cart up there. Get back up to the soybeans. But I did put some in the silos, so we've got, yeah, 240 there, plus another 240. So that's 480. Plus whatever's in the grain cart, that'll probably put us right over 5, and then whatever we get off of this field here. So we're gonna have 600,000 liters of beans to probably, you know, I'll take some of them and put them in the dairy, so it won't take much though. The dairy is a slow processing thing. But yeah, and we've got corn, so we need to probably get into the corn drying process. Actually, I need to go check. I've got the trailer from Elma, but I need to check to see if it'll take the Judith Plains propane. Alright, well the chocolate shake was good, but it is gone now. Let's look at that thing real quick. Let's see, that's not it. Where is it at? Oh, it might be under miscellaneous. Nope. Where is that thing? Might be under semi-trucks. Or not semi trucks, but semi trailers. Nope. Where is the thing? What would that be under? I know I have it in here somewhere. Not under tippers, is it? Nope. Huh. Maybe I overlooked it? Alright, where is this thing? It's not in our miscellaneous. Not in there. Normally it's under this. Is that it? You know what? I think that is it. I did overlook it. Yeah, this is it. So this is that one. So it says it takes the red, and I think the green is the anhydrous logo. Which one is the Judith Plain one? There it is. So that one should take it. A little red thing down there. I think that's the symbol for propane. So it looks like it does propane and maybe and anhydrous. Oh, stuttered. There's the save. It's not that bad, especially when you like got your GPS locked in and you're just running down the field with a combine. Not bad. It's a lot better than going in the menu and saving it. I can turn my lights off now. Got enough of the sun up over the horizon there. Oh, there goes a car. Somebody needs breakfast. Yeah, one of our workers texted last night and said that they had, well, really, it was yesterday afternoon, I guess. They already had firework people coming in, people injured by fireworks. People get crazy with fireworks. They're dangerous though. I saw a video of a guy holding a firework, and my thing is like, why are you holding this firework? And it's like a really big firecracker type firework. I don't know if it was like what it was called, like if it was a cherry bomb or what it was, but he decided to hold it in his hand. Now he had on like thick like kind of gloves, like work gloves, but that doesn't matter. So he decided to hold it in his hand, and the camera guy, he's got his cell phone camera and he's filming the whole thing, and it goes off, and yeah, it blew his hand off. You can hear him screaming, and they show his hand at the end, and it's like, yeah, well, don't hold a firecracker, even if it's a small one. If you're holding on to it, you got your fingers and your hand closed around it. If you've never seen the movie Armageddon, they give a perfect explanation of this in the movie Armageddon. You know, what happens if you have a firecracker in your hand and your hand is open? You burn your hand. So it's still not a great idea to hold a firecracker. You know, there's no good scenario that comes out of it. So you're either going to burn your hand, but if you close your hand, close your fist around the same firecracker, you lose parts of your hand. And the guy said your wife's going to be opening your ketchup bottles for the rest of your life. So don't hold on to fireworks. Use them as they were intended. Just put them on the ground. Put them, you know, put them in a non-flammable container. You know, don't hold on to them. There's just something about watching anybody play Judith Plains that just says America. Yeah? Yeah, we even bought an America truck over there. We got the Superliner. It's got the American paint job on it back there. Bought that in the video for yesterday, so that was the July 4th video. America. I think we'll go ahead and sell the straw. Sell, maybe go into November and sell the silage. It depends on how full we are up there. I have to go ahead and sell some the last day of October or something, so we might go a day. Get that price up a little bit. There's not, again, there's not a huge fluctuation in the price for silage or for soybean straw, so really you can just almost go ahead and just sell it. Might make a grand or two less or a grand or two more, but not a huge fluctuation. You're gonna make around 50 to 54 grand, whichever you decide, whether you decide to wait or whether you decide to just go ahead and sell it. I think we should just go ahead and sell it and get through the winter and see what they're gonna plant out there to see what we need to work towards next. Really, we're selling this stuff. We're going to be working towards selling the or paying the loan back. Can't wait to get into the tree work though. Tree work and field work. I may actually start doing some field work. Haven't decided yet. Haven't seen anything from VJ yet though, but you know, given that it is the July 4th weekend, you know, and all that, I'm like, well, may want to just hold off. Got nothing new from VJ. June 18th was the last time we heard anything from him. May have to run out and get me a pizza today. I still got hot dogs in there. I could eat some hot dogs, but may have to run out and get me a pizza. I'm thinking like a barbecued pizza. Stuffed crust barbecue pizza. Yeah, it's hard to believe we're already halfway through the summer. It's July now, you know, they've already got all the back to school stuff out. Pretty soon they'll be putting out the Halloween stuff, right? And that next after the back to school stuff, they start putting out Halloween stuff. I think the kids will go back to school in sometime in August now. I think they have for years. It didn't used to be that way. It used to be you would start school in either like the last week of August or it'd be like the first 2 weeks of September. And then the last days of school would be in May. And it's changed even from what it changed to now. But it's still different from what it used to be when I went to school. We would be out of school like the 3rd or 4th week in May, sometime in there. It'd be like May 23rd or something like that. It was definitely before June. We were out the last week of May, and we didn't go back until the last week of August or the first week or two of September. So basically we had a 3-month summer. Goes to back to the old song. There's a moldy oldie song, as they call it, called "See You in September." I'm trying to remember who sung it. I can't even remember. There's an oldie song called "See You in September," and basically it's about a guy getting out of school for the summer, and his love is either going away, going to camp or something, or basically he won't see her until September because that's when school starts back. So that's kind of a going back to school song, I guess. It's something along the lines of "See you in September, when the summer's through." Doo-doo-doo. Good song though. Remember the first place I heard that song was the old and I'm really showing my age now, the Purple People Eater movie. There's even people from my age that don't remember that movie. It was not I think it was a direct-to-video movie, but it might have been in theaters. I want to say it was a direct-to-video movie, but it's got some big actors in it though. Neil Patrick Harris, Doogie Howser. He's like the main character. It's got Ned Beatty in it. It's got Shirley Winters in it. It's got Screech from Saved by the Bell in it. Trying to remember them all now. It's got Thora Birch in it. You know, for those that don't know who Thora Birch is, remember Danny from Hocus Pocus? The little girl? That's her. She was in that movie. She was a lot smaller then. She was like maybe, gosh, she wasn't even 5 years old in Purple People Eater, but that was 88, 89 when that movie came out. Something like that. Pretty cool movie though. I think Little Richard was in it. Probably forgetting some. Good movie though. Had a lot of the oldies song in it, including the Purple People Eater song. And Rockin' Robin and Good Golly Miss Molly, you know, and Twist, and oh yeah, Chubby Checker was in it too. Forgot about him. Oh, I miss those days. Yeah, you end up missing the days. You know, you think about the days when you were a kid. We'd go rent a movie, and then maybe pick up a pizza, and we'd swing by the baseball card shop, pick up the latest little pack of baseball cards, and then we couldn't wait to get home and, you know, open them up and see which cards we had and which ones we didn't have. And we had a big three ring binder that we put all of our cards in, and we get the gum out of the packs and chew the gum. Man, that gum was always hard. It was always very hard to chew, but once you got it going, you know, it's all right. And we'd put them in the things and go out and play baseball, and you don't forget the old days. We've got 150 now. I could go ahead and pay some back. So we're down to 2.7. Get us down to 2.6. Alright, so 2.6. We'll sell the straw. Sell the silage. I think I'm going to do the straw first, because we got a lot of it on the ground. Got plenty down here, and then the big field has a lot in it. But I'll hit the fields up there. And I think we're going to take it all right now. I think the best price is at the farmer's market. There's a place, the Montana Hay and Straw Company, or whatever it's called down there. It's across the river. You have to go across the river and go down kind of... It's in the northern part of the southern town. But I think it'd be just quicker and easier to sell all the straw that's up there, up the mountain there, up the hill, up the plateau, mountain, hill, what is that? Up there, anyway. It'd be easier just to take it to the farmer's market and sell it. It's only, again, not a big fluctuation in price, just maybe $1 or $2. West side, or what is it, west? Yeah. Gotta go hit the west side of the field here. Can't wait to get like these areas with the trees all out here. Clear this out, plow it up, merge these fields together. Oh, I can't wait to do that. That's the thing, is like so I was struggling with the name for these land areas in between. think I finally settled on something. I'm gonna call them by their location, number one. So there's 4 that we do not own. There's the northwest area, there's the northeast area, there's the southwest area, and the southeast area. We're going to buy them in order, so we're going to buy the northwest one first, the northeast one next, the southwest one next, and then the southeast one last. Basically, that's all due to the price of the area. But I'm going to call them by name and by their location. So I was kind of looking at the map, looking at all the areas. The map here. I was kind of looking at all the areas, and the answer was right in front of me. What am I going to call all these areas? Plains. So we've got the northwest plains plot, the northeast plains plot, southwest plains plot, and then the southeast plains plot. Basically, Judith Plains. That's kind of the whole point of the map. Got all these plains, grounds areas. So yeah, we'll call it the northwest plains, northeast plains, southwest plains, southeast plains, and they're all plots of land. So when I refer to the northwest plains, that's what we're shooting for first. We want to buy the northwest plains, and then the northeast plains. So really, we'll own all the plains in the north first, just due to pricing. Kind of convenient that the starting farm is up there, because the plains up there are cheaper. So it's kind of nice, and that we actually do. You start out, if you do the starting farm, there's a north central plains that you start with up here. So that barley field is ready to go. It doesn't have any weeds in it. Probably wait. I hate to wait on fields anymore because they have been harvested early. I don't think anybody would harvest them in the winter, but you know. I think the policy here in Judith Plains, Montana is going to be buy it when it's ready. And that means no weeds, that means fully fertilized, unless there's, you know, a potential for contracts to be on it. Otherwise, buy it when it's ready. Otherwise, you could end up missing out. They may harvest the field before it's actually time to harvest it, according to the crop calendar. Yeah, if you got a field that's ready, that doesn't need anything else, you just go ahead and you got the funds, bite the bullet and do it. That way it'll be ready for you, and it'll be ready when it's time to harvest it. empty at 83%. Yeah, I think I am going to have to empty when I get back down there. Quite a bit. I didn't think there was this much left. There's quite a bit of beans left here. Morning, Yuleberry. How's it going? Are you looking forward to the new expansion map? I noticed that it's in the Scotland Highlands. I did some Googling, some homework on that area, and it looks like the more average farming brand is probably Massey Ferguson. Now there are others. There are, you know, New Holland, John Deere, you know, stuff like that. But it says, according to Google, now this is according to Google, Massey Ferguson is kind of like the more popular brand up there in Scotland. The roads up there are narrow. Oh boy. So no real big equipment then. We'll probably stick to the small to medium tractors, I would say, probably. Got a small Massey there. Not that we'll be all, you know, exclusive Massey. We'll probably have some other ones. Probably Fent or something. Maybe some of these others. They brought out a Lindner today that is a FarmCon exclusive. There's another Massey there. Maybe get a McCormick. A lot of these we haven't used. Then you look under harvesters, you know, you got the starting older Massey combine there, and then you got this one here. I think these would both be good. Actually, there's not much difference in the capacity. That's 8,000 and this one's 8,600. Wow. That's pretty much the same combine as that one. And then I guess we could get into the ideals. I'm gonna have to watch my Harry Potter and the Braveheart when it comes closer to time. I'm gonna do everything, you know, short of wearing a kilt. I don't think I'll be wearing a kilt. Might give me some bagpipes though. Play some bagpipes. Morning, Tomcat. I saw a video on YouTube. It was a YouTube reel, and I immediately thought of you. I was like, "There's a girl for Tomcat right there." She was riding a hobby horse, and she was making all kinds of, like, I guess, hobby horse sounds. I was like, "Oh man, this is." She was just riding a hobby horse around. I was like, "This is the perfect woman for Tomcat right here." Yeah. Want to watch the film Train Spotting? Takes a real man to pull off wearing a kilt. Well, I'll leave it to them. Leave it to them and, you know, R.I.P. Roddy Piper. I was gonna say, did you see the train in I don't even remember the name of the map. The new expansion map. It's got a steam train in it. It's really cool. It looks like the steam train from Harry Potter. A little bit. It's similar. My thing is, we've talked about, fishing, like, wouldn't it be cool if you could grab a fishing rod and just go fish off of the, like, the bank? Apparently you'll be able to do that. You can grab a fishing pole, get down to the river bank, or, the pond, I guess, or maybe the lake, or whatever they got. And, you can fish. Fishing Simulator, Farming Simulator Edition. You can do it that way. You can actually drive the boats. I wonder if they're going to enable that on Riverbend Springs. We talked about the island that they have, like, locked off. I bet that's what that's for. I bet that is a fish farm there. And they just have it kind of blocked off where you can't really get into it. But will we be able to drive boats in Riverbend? Will we be able to fish in Riverbend? Will all of that kind of apply across the board to the maps? Because there's plenty of places to fish in Riverbend. There's plenty of places to fish in Pantai. What was the other map? Sri Lanka. There weren't a lot of places to fish in Sri Lanka. There is like a, well, there is kind of a, yeah, there's kind of a river. Trying to remember my Sri Lanka now. There's a pond in the park. There's a river. I think there's a river on like the east side of the map, if I remember right. But Silver Run, will you be able to fish in Silver Run? Do some fly fishing in Silver Run. There's a river that runs right up through the middle, and there's a big river down on the south edge of the map. Go up on that up in the northwest part of Silver Run. Go up there and do some fly fishing. Catch some trout. I think trout. What'd they say? Trout and salmon are the big fish we'll be able to fish for. Hello, Josh. How's it going? Welcome in. Huh. That's interesting. So just a possibility. Nothing confirmed, nothing for sure. Really just a possibility that the next or the third DLC for this year might be Mercedes. Like Mercedes-Benz, I guess. That might be like a little Mercedes-Benz pack. I know that a Mercedes-Benz tractor just dropped in the PC mod hub, but it's possible that that might be the third DLC. Possibility. Don't know for sure. Take it with a grain of salt. But it's a possibility. that's it. We're done with the harvesting. One thing about these strobe lights on Stevie's combines, you can see them reflecting off of the surfaces, but when you zoom out a little bit, you can't see the strobes themselves. If you zoom in, and they're extra bright. That's how bright they should be. I think they need their distance increased. I don't know if that's a setting on my end or if that is something that he would turn up on his end. I don't know. Because now it looks like they're not on, unless I pass by something. You can kind of see them reflecting there. Probably see them on this building here yet. Maybe in the tree. Yeah, you can definitely see them flashing in the tree. But I can't actually see them flashing on the model right now. I can see my hazards, but not the beacons. Yeah, just a little thing. Not a huge deal, but you know, just something to think about. The LOD settings in the mod, so it's something that he would have to turn up on his end, I guess. Alright. I got my grain cart here. It's got some beans in it. I need to go get the truck. So here's the spray rig that I bought. Just got to get the spray part that goes to it. Or the solid part if I want to do that. Yeah, I can bring this truck. Go take this truck up there. Yeah, he might update that. We'll see. This is the America truck I was talking about. America. Put in a little gravel right here when we own this. Need the American case from 22 again. The tractor or the combine? Because there were the two. We had the American combine. It had the American flag on it, and then we had a case Magnum that you could put in a American style paint job. And then there was a Spirit of 76. I still have those mods, I know. I've got them in my drive. You had the Spirit of 76. Oh gosh, what was the model on that tractor? You had the smaller one, and then you had the larger articulated one. Yeah, the Spirit of 76. Yeah, the Steiger. It was a Steiger. The articulated tractor. Then there was a Magnum too. There was the it was like the I don't know if Carl Farms did that one or if that was done by, I'm trying to remember who did that one. It was like the in-game Magnum, but it had the American flag paint job. I can't remember if that was Carl that did that one or if that was, I don't think it was Custom that did it. Got a lot of straw to pick up. Field over there, that big field back there, a little field down yonder, and then the one down the big boot field that we just did. Here, let's see how much we get total on our surplus of beans here. Put a little bit of road right in here too. I need to get rid of that tree. In the future, at some point. Here, let's see how much we get. Should be over 500. There's 500. We do have a little bit of barley left. We didn't sell it all. And we got a little bit of corn up here. We got a little way more corn down south. There's 600,000. $650. So just over 650,000 liters of soybeans. Not bad. Get a little surplus there. We'll be able to sell those in the future. So I'm just going to leave the truck there for now. I'm going to find the forage wagon. Here we go. And then start picking this straw back up again. I've already sold the straw out of the Pac-Man field and 2 fields that are just north of there. And I'm just going to run these over to the animal dealer because A, it's closer. And B, the price, again, the price fluctuation is not that great. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, just me on the farm today. Old man's schedule has changed. He will now be around on Sundays. Phil, I'm hoping we'll be back soon. No, he was here a couple of weeks ago, but he had cut his finger really well washing the dishes. I may not even pick up this regular straw over here in this other field where we had the barley. May not even pick that up. It's almost not even worth it. Unless you have animals or something like that. And we don't have animals yet. We're getting there. We'll get into animals soon. That's another thing. The animal... What would we call it? The animal... pens, I guess? Paddocks? Pens, maybe? We tried mowing those before. And they didn't drop any grass. I went back and looked at the strip that I mowed. Now it is in mowable meadow grass. So just that one strip is in mowable meadow grass. So I think we need to go in and mow if we want to do that, because there's plenty of grass in there. We can mow the animal pens and then go back, and we should have collectible grass in the animal pens. Just got to hit it with the mower once and then let it regrow, and think we've ran into that situation before where we had some grass in an area that was not, it didn't drop or something, and then we went back and then it was mobile after that. I think we've had that situation before. I think I know what you're talking about. So, like, if you start with the starting farm on here, you start with red farm, and if you buy another farm, let's say you bought the blue farm, that would be your new spawn farm. I don't know how to switch it back to spawn at the red farm. The only thing I can think of is maybe build um, like a farmhouse or something, and then you can spawn at the new farmhouse. I don't know. I do know what you're talking about though, because we are currently spawning when I spawn in to the game, I spawn in down there at the brown farm because that's the last farm that we purchased. I don't know how to switch it around to make, you know, one of your previous farms your home farm. It did the same thing on Riverbend Springs though. So like you start at Grandpa's farm down there, right? But if you buy any of the farms like the farm up there where the farmers market is up there next to where the sunflower little field was, that will be where you spawn in at. If you buy the farm down on the south side of Riverbend Springs, that'll be where you spawn in at. It just depends on what the last farm was that you bought. I don't know. I'm sure there's probably a way. I don't know how. I would maybe Google it or search on YouTube, see if anybody. I'm sure there's a way like to go into like your XML. I don't know how console people would do it. I'm sure there's probably a way to go into the XML and say, you know, home farm or starting farm here. Yeah, if you build a new farmhouse, you should spawn at your new farmhouse. I would assume if you got rid of the new farmhouse, it would probably default back to the most recent one. That's my assumption anyway. I've tried sleeping. I've tried doing that. I've tried sleeping at the farm that I want to spawn at. That doesn't work. I kind of thought that too, so I went back and slept at Grandpa's farm and saved the game and then loaded back in and it spawned me back at that same new farm. I haven't really paid attention if there's like a mod or something in the mod hub that... Well, there is remember player location, but I don't know if that would work for spawning at the farm of your choice or if that just remembers your last location from the save. So technically I think that kind of spawns you anywhere. You'd use that mod if you wanted to do it that way. Good morning, SRG. Good morning, Crazy Legs. How's it going? Week was good. I was off for the 4th and off another day and got a few things done and played a little farm sim. Played a lot of farm sim. Did a lot of contracts and made some money and spent some money. Kind of what we're doing now. We're trying to make some money now, trying to sell the soybean straw out of the fields. The only fix for that, to fix where you, like if you're building a building and it causes the ground to raise up, the only fix that I have found for that is to go in like you would in real life and flatten out that area with call it the landscaping tool. Go in, know where you want to build it, go in and use the flattening tool and flatten that whole area out. Make sure it's, big enough to fit the building that you're building, and then build your building on that flat level area. Typically that's what you do in real life. If you're building a building, you're going to go in and level that area out, and then you'll lay your foundation, and then you'll go from there. But yeah, go in and try using the flattening tool. There's 4 tools in the landscaping tool. There's a smoothing tool, there's the up and down tool, there's the flattening tool, that's the one you want, and then there's, oh gosh, what's the other one? I'm gonna have to go look now. Oh, the sloping tool, yeah. Never really have much use for the sloping tool. Unless you're on a map that you've got an area, you know what, the sloping tool might actually work good down there where we plan to build that road in the future, in the distant future. But you can use that sloping tool to do a slope at the angle that you want. But anyway, this one here that I'm on, that is just the basic up and down for the land. This is the flattening one there. So that's kind of the one you want if you're going to build a building. Just flatten the area that you want to flatten. And then this is the smoothing one right there. So yeah, this basically you can, once you have your building built, you can kind of go around your building a little bit. I wouldn't put it on high intensity, but just do it on like low intensity and kind of smooth things around, around the building. And then that's the sloping tool there. And then once you get out of sculpting, you can get into painting and do your ground painting, and then you can do all your trees and plants and stuff like grass and bushes and shrubs and stuff. So, no, don't hit the I button. I don't want to hit that. Does it do the same on not a field? As long as you own the land, the landscaping tool will work. You have to own the land though. If it's part of the common ground or public ground or whatever that you can't actually purchase and own the land, then it won't work. You gotta own the land to make changes to said land. Have you bought any new fields as of late? Yes, as a matter of fact. Um, if you go back on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/thegrainarcade, from this last week, you can see where I bought the new fields. But we bought these two new fields down here. We bought this huge cornfield right there, and then this cornfield over here to the west of that. So we bought those. We bought, and then before that, we bought a barley field there. We bought the boot field over here that had beans in it. We bought this barley field there. Bought that barley field there. And bought that barley field there. Oh, and then we bought this sorghum field there. So we do own that one there. This probably, honestly, and I think Jeff's the one that told me about this. This will probably be the first ones that we plow together because you don't have to own any of the plains ground to merge these together. There's no plains ground in between there. We own all three of those, and they're back to back. So yeah. Yeah, I need to put the links in there. I need to do that. I got to figure out how to do that. Yeah, youtube.com/thegrainarcade. Oh, there's the save. It's still there. It's I can deal with it. It's not. I mean, you can tell when it does it. It only lasts for maybe half a second or a second. But it is a lot better than saving going into the menu and having to wait 6 or 7 seconds for it to save. But yeah, that's a good mod to have because it saves as I'm playing. I don't have to go into the menu and then wait, you know. Yeah, there is a mod for Paint and Terraform Anywhere in the PC Mod Hub, but I have a feeling that he would want to terraform for the sole purpose of building a new farm. So he would still have to own the land to place the buildings on it. That would only work, that mod would only work if you want to terraform or paint that area. I think he's wanting to build a new farm. Tell you what, let me go sell this little bit here first. Go down to that field down yonder there. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to put in like commands like that. Oh, well, my neighbors are taking down all their 4th of July decorations, I see. They don't sit around on their decorations. They decorate for everything, but they don't sit around on them. You don't need to own the land to place a building on that land with the mod? I thought you had to own the ground to do anything with it. As far as like placing a farmhouse or, you know, stuff like that. I know you can take off, when you're placing a building, you can take off restrictions. Yes, it was definitely loud last night. To place a building, you do have to own the land, I'm pretty sure, right? Is that what you're saying? I know you don't have to own the land to terraform or paint it, but if you're placing a building, like a farmhouse or a shop or a production or something like that, you have to own the land. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's kind of what he's after, what he's trying to do. Actually, what I really think he's trying to do is like, you know how when you have, like on Riverbend, your starting farmhouse is Grandpa's house, right? It's the white house down there. If you have the starting farm, if you buy another farm, you end up waking up there. I think what he wants to do is change where he spawns in at. And again, there is another mod that you can download that remember player position, and basically you just spawn in wherever you were at. So if you want to stand beside a vehicle and save and leave your game, and you have that mod installed, basically you can just spawn in there and not at a farmhouse. I've always wanted to sleep in the truck. You know, the semi truck. If it has a sleeper cab on it, I've always wanted to sleep in those. Surprised they haven't put that in game. If you're gonna have a truck with a sleeper cab on it, I mean, why not be able to take a nap in your truck? That'd be awesome. I remember when we played Frankenmuth back on 22. Phil and I, we did the role playing thing where we were hobos getting off the. We decided to get off the rails. Life on the rails was very, very hard, and we built a tent in Frankenmuth 4X, and we slept in the tent. Yep, we stayed in that tent for a long time. Yeah, we slept in a tent. It was actually, we bought a farm and we put the tent outside one of the sheds. Really sad to think about that. That Taylor Farms, Michigan, the Michigan Farms guy, he's getting out of the business. He's not gonna do modding anymore. This is the guy that did Michigan. He did Frankenmuth. He did the Prairie Land Farm. He did Gira. He was actually working on a 4X that put all four of those maps together, and it was supposed to hopefully be out, I think, this summer, but I think he's saying now it's probably going to be winter. He says he's going to finish that, but once he's done with that, he's out. He's not going to do the modding anymore. Very sad. I guess I need to sit down and learn how to mod. I need to sit down. I know exactly what I want. I know what I want the maps to have. I like DJ style, man. DJ, the way he pays attention to detail on his maps. That's the kind of maps I would like to make. If I could do it, if I could sit down and do it, you know, I know it's a hair pulling type thing to get into and do, and it takes a lot of time. But man, that I could build some farms. You know, they'd probably most likely all be American based. But just his attention to detail, man. DJ's attention to detail, it's awesome. I'd be putting everything in. Honestly, I would probably stay away from console mapping, just because of what I've heard about Giant's testing process, how they approve mods and stuff, and you know, with the delays and stuff that they have. I would just probably go the route of, you know, kind of like DJ has done. You know, he does the 4X maps. We really like his maps. He did Green Valley, Nebraska back in 22. He did Judith Plains here in 25. He's actually working on the next one here in 25. Yeah, his level of detail. I mean, he put in. I mean, he put in a McDonald's. He put in a Tractor Supply. He put in Subway. He put in a Dollar General. He put in all kinds of stuff that are, you know, very North American, and B, you know, just very realistic, based on real locations. They're not down, you know, to the T on like matching the location, but they're based on said locations. Save. Wonder if that's about the degree that Old Man and Phil go through when I save the game. If it's like that, or if it's worse. Just a little short, 1 second stutter. That's all it is. Not a 6 or 7 second, you know, stuck in the menu type thing. Anything on sale? Nothing really great. Not any new contracts. Nothing new on sale. I think the main thing right now again is selling all the straw that we put down in the fields, and selling the silage. And then we can go through the winter. Maybe get to spring and see what's what there. See what they plant. Still be in the market for bean and corn fields, but we'll look at we've got some winter barley fields, but you know, you never know, they might plant some spring barley fields like they did before. And if there's any that are strategically attractive, like around here, like if this field next to us is done in beans, corn, barley, you know, something that we might be interested in, maybe oats, maybe sorghum, maybe something like that. Now that we're getting to the point where, you know, it looks like we're probably going to have some money, because we've got the surplus of beans and we're going to get into the dried corn. And we probably are going to look at getting some of the barley fields that are out there right now. It's winter barley. But we could also get into the brewery and the whiskey factory. That put us over another 100. We can go pay back more on our loan. Get us down to 2.5. Cool beans. Yeah, we try to keep a balance. It depends on, I guess it depends on what we're really trying to do that year. But I've made the argument that wherever our farms are, especially when it comes down to grass, alfalfa, clover, and corn, we want to have at least one of each of those fields in the vicinity of that farm. That way, you know, you have the hope of having a field there that can keep your fermenting silo fully supplied. So we've got the big, you know, we got 4 alfalfa fields there by the red farm. We've got 4 clover, 4? No, 3 clover fields north of there. We've got a grass field, and actually I just planted another field that we bought that had corn in it. Planted it in grass, so we've got 2 grass fields north of the red farm. And then we also have another field up there that I most likely will, I haven't decided yet. Probably, I was thinking about putting it in corn to do the corn chaff. But if we have the other field down south there, I might do that one. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, wherever you have a farm, yeah, you can grow whatever you want, whatever you need. If you want to do all soybeans, you can do that. The thing is, there's no wrong way to play farm sim. John has made this argument in the past. There is no wrong way to play farm sim. You can plant whatever you want. If you want to do the entire map in potatoes, you know, you're more than welcome to do that if you want to do that. If you want to do the entire map in sugarcane, you're welcome to do that. If you want to do the entire map in soybeans, then you're more than welcome to do that. So it just depends on what you want to do. Now, we don't have any animals yet. You pretty much turned the red farm into a huge silage farm. Yeah. That's kind of what I've done. The red farm and the blue farm, we own both. So I kind of share the fields around the red farm with the blue farm. And that's why they're both fully stocked. Because whatever alfalfa I don't put in the red farm goes into the blue farm. Whatever clover I don't put into the red farm goes into the blue farm. Same with grass, same with corn chaff. But yeah, whatever you want. There's so many crops now that you can plant We're gonna get into the rice. I've made the joke that it's GMO rice. Really, it's gonna be rice that we've got special technology that waters the rice. We've had some reverse tile put in, so it doesn't drain the water off. It actually brings water in to the soil, so that we can grow rice without having to flood the field. Yep, that sounds like a good baloney story to me. So yeah, we're gonna get into that at some point in the future. To get into that though, we really will have to upgrade our combines. Because right now, the combine that we have doesn't accommodate for the special header to do that. So we'll have to definitely upgrade. Not just change them out, but upgrade from the combine that we have. We'll have to go with one of the big boys. One of the big ones. Have to be either an X9 or a CR11 or the AF11. Have to be a 10 or 11 class combine to do that. Yeah, we own the red and blue farm up north, and then we own the brown and black farm down south. The brown and black farm down there are kind of like our overflow farms. Plus, we've got a lot of corn down there, and I'm thinking about doing the corn drying down there, and then probably doing beans up here. The only real reason I want to do beans up here is because we have the soy milk production up here, and I can basically do what I did. I took a full load of beans, went right over there to the dairy, and just dumped them in. And then whatever we have as a like a surplus bonus crop that won't go in there, we took to the red farm and we're storing it there. And right before we get ready to sell whatever we've got in June, June, we will probably take another load down to the dairy and make sure it's full, and then sell whatever the surplus is. We could hang on to some, but honestly, the rate at which that processes the soy milk, we had only gotten down to 600,000 liters of soybeans. So I went and dumped some in there. I think it was a full load. Yeah, it was about 240,000 liters. So that's about right. Am I full? I'm full. Can I go through here? Jump the track. Whee! Really need like another little railroad crossing there. Kind of elevate the stuff. Elevate the dirt a little bit. Have a little gravel or dirt crossing there. I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna try to make some little dirt crossings wherever we might need them. Good morning, RBP dog. How's it going? Yeah, we don't have any animals yet. That's something that we will get into eventually, but we are definitely going to do them. The problem with the animals is it's one of those things where it's like the trees, it's like the creating the farmland. If there is an update to the map, which is rumored to be coming, well, it's not rumor anymore. He's confirmed it. There is an update coming. But the question is will the update require a new game save? Animals would be hard to replace if there is a map update and it requires a new game save. So that goes along with the trees and merging fields together, creating farmlands. Honestly, the creating farmland one wouldn't be as bad. That's probably the least troublesome thing to fix. But definitely tree work and animals, that would be harder to... There's a lot to get into when it comes to tree work, and you can't just do a new game save from that custom work. It would take forever to take trees back out. It would take forever to get the animals back to where you had them. And really, it would take a minute to merge fields back together. Unless you started out small, which we all know I really have a hard time sticking to. Usually if I do something, it's under the category of go big or go home. But hopefully we'll know something soon, whether it will require a new game save or not. And the only reason I'm holding out is I want to see what the update entails. It's got fixes and it's got improvements. Those are his words. So what are the improvements? I know a lot of people have been asking for the ability to sell the farm buildings. Like you can buy the farms, but then you can turn around and sell the buildings if you don't want a farm there. Like an actual physical farm, if you don't want a farmhouse, if you don't want this shed here or that shed there, if you don't want the corn dryer there. But that, to me, he has stated that those are kind of built into the map. The thing is you would kind of want those as placeables in case you wanted to replace them, unless you just did a completely new game save and then just started over. So you could buy the farms. To me, honestly, just give me the ability to sell the buildings and I'd be happy. If I'm going to sell a building, most likely I'm not going to replace it. If I'm selling a building, it's probably to make that a field. The only thing I might want back as a placeable is the and maybe for additional storage at the other farms is the silo, the fermenting silo. And maybe the main silo. I think I'm trying to remember how much I think they hold. I think they hold 1,000,000 liters. I know the fermenting silo holds 1,000,000 liters of each thing, but the main silo, I don't know what that holds. Got to be able to hold a lot of the custom stuff, like dry corn and, stuff like that. But I'm looking forward to getting into that. If we get to the point where we get a cluster of fields and we own the prairie, or the prairie land in between. Like say we own these 4 fields. We already own that field. But say we own that field, and that field, and with the blessing of that field, we can plow all that together. It's that case all over the map. So kind of just holding off on doing anything like that until I see what the update will entail. But we've got plenty to do in the meantime. We've got plenty of fields. There's plenty of fields out there that we don't own yet. Plenty of fields. We've got time. I said from the beginning when this map came out, that, and even before the map came out, that we would be in Judith Plains, Montana for a long time. So we're going to be here for a long time. Just going to sell this load down here. Trying to think, were there any other fields up there that I did not pick up? I think that's all of them. All I've got left is the boot field down here now and the big field. You know what? Let me get some gas. Whoa, there's a save. While I'm thinking about it, go ahead and top it off. And I remember seeing this house over here. I remember seeing this when the map was in the early stages. This house over here, you could buy it and have it as a farmhouse. I don't know if that's still the case or not. I don't see any place where you could buy it, unless it's when you buy the land, maybe? Because you can buy this land. Said you could. Oh yeah, there we go. So I think when you buy this land, maybe it allows you to have that as a farmhouse. Only really way to tell is to buy the land. It's an expensive piece of land, but we're gonna need that probably if we get into the barley production like I want to do, or not barley production, and the brewery and the whiskey, because those are both gonna need water, and we'll probably want to put in water tanks, water pumps, so we don't have to drive too far away to get water. Yeah, Alma. If I was still on console, Alma would be my favorite map. Yeah, if I was still on console, I'm thinking back. As far as like base game maps go, Alma, and I tell you, Elm Creek. That was a pretty close. I would say the base game Elm Creek was. It was one of the first maps that really felt like a Midwest American map that Giants has put out. I know we played Mr. Stevie's Elm Creek 4X, and that was nice. That was a nice map to be involved with a little bit. I was able to mow the interstate. You know, the interstate runs through Elm Creek, and on a 4X map it was a little bit longer, and at the beginning you couldn't mow it, but then he went back and added that in. So that was really nice that he did that. I think he watched one of our videos when we first did Elm Creek, and he came in and changed it to where we could mow the interstate, and we looked for spots that might be, might need adjusting here and there. But that was nice to be able to do that. One thing about the modded maps is that you can purchase all of the land, right? With Giants, when they do the maps, there's land that you can't purchase. You can't ever own it. So you're restricted to only the land that you can own. And considering that, and it's a 2x map, there's not enough room really for us to get out there and stretch out. There's no elbow room. That's why I like the 4x maps like this one. It's an American map, it's a 4x map, and there's plenty of room to do stuff. If you want to add productions, if you want to... Let's be honest, I mean, you look at Riverbend, there's not enough room on Riverbend to even put in all of the base game productions. There's just no room. You could do it if you sacrificed field acreage, but doing that, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to sacrifice your fields? I mean, there's already it's already small. You don't get a lot of product just because the map is so small. And on here, there's plenty of room for expansion. You want to come in and expand this field, clear this forest out. You can merge these fields together. They're already big. I mean, they're nice sized fields. That's the thing. There's no wrong way to play Farm Sim. It's just nicer if you have elbow room to do it, to play the way you want to do it. Just come in and that's the beauty of being on PC too, is you can use the different mods and stuff and be on the 4x maps. And this is my favorite map so far. I haven't seen too much of his new map that he's working on. It's in the very, 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 very beta stages. There's really nothing there. He's done some landscaping, and that's about it. But curious to see what it's gonna be like. It looks like it's gonna be hilly. It doesn't look like there's gonna be like big open fields like this. A lot of side hills and stuff like that. He made the joke of better get your, what's the combine that does the hills, that tilts and compensates and stuff. It doesn't have an official name yet. The code name for the new map is... Hang on, I don't want to tell you wrong. The code name for the new map that he's working on is Borderland Harvest. Brand new work in progress map set in a region where rugged hills meet fertile river valleys. It says get your hillside combines and high horsepower tractors ready. So it sounds like it's going to be very hilly. If I had to guess, and this would just be a guess, since it's got that code name, Borderland Harvest, I would say it's going to be somewhere along the American-Canadian border. And the only reason why that's my guess is because in the past he has done a lot of maps that share the border with Canada. He did the Red River Valley map that shared the border with North Dakota, Minnesota, and Manitoba. He actually did a map back in, I think it was 19, that was somewhere in Canada. That was the name of it. And then he did some other maps too. He did Deer Country. He did Oklahoma, I think he did that one. And then Upper Mississippi River Valley. So he tends to lean more towards the American, well, let's just say he tends to lean more towards North American maps. So that includes the United States and Canada, which is really cool. I would say if he ever does a 4X, I'm going to butcher the name, Saskatchewan map, that would be sweet. Because there are some big farms in the Saskatchewan area. That's where a lot of the farming YouTube videos come out of that area, that region. Oh, I think I'm full. Yep, I'm full. I'm gonna run these up to the farmer's market up there. I think it's closer. But yeah, if he ever did like a Saskatchewan map, that'd be cool. It's flattish. It's big fields. I mean, you got some thousands upon thousands of acres. Don't know if he'd ever go past the 4X size, but if he ever did Saskatchewan, you could definitely go past. Oh, there's a save. Well, you can feel it on the end game when you're in the cab. You can feel that save a little bit. It only lasts a second though. Yeah, if he ever did a 16X map on there, Saskatchewan would be like the ideal place to do a 16X. Wait, 16X? Yeah, 16X is the thing. We actually did a 16X back in the winter by NBC Masterdad. It was a very plain 16X map, and it had... We came up with a final number on the amount of trees that it had. They were all pretty much straight trees, like the fir trees. I want to say it had over 90,000 trees on it. It wasn't a bad file size either for a 16X map. You would think a 16X map, you know, you'd think, man, that's going to be a huge file size. But it was actually under a gigabyte. Yeah. Yeah. The thing with that map is, the 16X map, it's kind of like the story of Goldilocks. Remember the story of Goldilocks? You know, this bed is too small. That would be like the in-game maps for me. The Papa Bear's bed was too big. That'd be like the 16X map for me. But the middle bed was just right. That's the 4X maps for me. The thing that was lacking from the 16X map was detail. There was no like real border to that map. I mean, it was flat-ish. Most of the areas were flat. There were some areas that could use a little landscaping, but there was no real detail. All you had on the 16X map, that one, was the shop. And I think that was it. There wasn't anything else. We built some sheds, and then we built some productions. But yeah, that was pretty much it. There were a lot of rocks on that map too. so many. I wouldn't call them rocks. I'd call them boulders. But yeah, it was a bit too kind of like biting off more than you can chew sometimes. And that one, it just liked the detail that, like for instance, this map. This map, it has the detail. This map is based on a real location. It's got the detail stuff. Is this a solo playthrough or co-op? This is... This game save is for myself, Old Man, and Phil. And we are part of the Puma Plow community. This is what I've said in the past. We're part of the Puma Plow community, and we play with people that we know and trust. So yeah, it's somebody that, if you're part of the Puma Plow community and you're in TeamSpeak and, I've talked to you and, we know you and you're, in good standing, then we might open it up more, but it's not an open server type map. Really, it's not on the server. I'm just hosting this locally, so. Oh, I didn't get all that straw there. I need to go back to that corner. Yeah, we do. And a lot of times they're busy. I know Phil's been busy. He's been working and stuff, and then he hurt his finger, and Old Man's been busy, and he actually had a flood hit his home, and he's been busy with a work change and a schedule change. So he'll probably be here tomorrow. He used to come in on Saturdays, but he's gonna be on Sundays now, and it might be him and Phil both. So. Yeah, I've done a lot of solo work on this map during the week. Where'd you get Forge Wagon? This is Mr. Stevie's wagon. Matter of fact, it's got a beacon on it. I need to have that on. This is from Mr. Stevie. If you want to find any of his mods, he's actually working on mod pack 19 now. So he'll have 19 mod packs out, and they've got a whole mixture of his mods. He's got some with that are I say air quote tuned up. Yeah. You can go to Stevie FS. What is it? Hang on, Stevie. It's all on YouTube. Look it up here. Stevie FS Mods. You go to Stevie FS Mods on YouTube. You can see he's done I think he's pretty much done a video for every mod pack that he's done. He did do a remake of the standard size Riverbend Springs. But he has announced that he is not making any 4X maps anymore. He's made 4X maps in the past. But I think has pretty much said that he's out of that business now. We played a lot of his maps in the past. We played Elm Creek 4X from him. I remember all the way back in the days of Farming Simulator 15, we played, what was that map? That was another Plains map, as a matter of fact. Plains and Simple, I think is what it was called. He had a standard size version of that map, and then he had the 4X version of that map, and that's where I developed my love for cutting trees. Because there was a whole southeast section of that map that was nothing but trees. You could go in that forest and get lost on that map. It was fantastic. So I remember it was me and Benedict and some others that we cleared out that forest area down there and plowed all that up. There was a really nice sized field over next to that forest. We merged all that together and made a huge field down there. That's where I learned a lot about the basics of the farming simulator. I'm going to start on the outside over here. I'm just about full again. Yeah, his 4X Elm Creek map, that was really nice. He created an area up north that was kind of like, what's the right word? It was kind of like a, like a meadow plains kind of area. So yeah, you could buy all that and merge it all together, and that's exactly what we did. We bought it all, merged it all together, and made a big field up there. Oh, I'm full. That didn't take long. Should be able to pay back more on the loan after selling this load, though. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like it. Sometimes it's nice to do it the traditional way. If it's a smaller map, I might do it the traditional way. I know when we were playing Riverbend, we did pretty much all of that the traditional way because we bought, matter of fact, we bought the big sawmill and then we built 2 more big sawmills. And you gotta have timber to put in there. So we were clearing timber over there left and right. We had the wheel loader, so we could take the big log grapple and pick up the big trunks of the trees and load them up, transport them down there, and now, you know, maps this size, we have a nice little thing called the brush chipper. Can't wait to break that thing out. I mean, we could clear the trees and just, you know, get rid of them if we wanted to, but that's a lot of trees, a lot of timber, a lot of money in timber. So we'll take that brush chipper and make us some wood chips, and we can sell that in the winter and keep the people of Judith Plains warm. Keep their electricity on, by the way. Or anyway. So we've got wood chip biomass to do for electricity. We've got windmills to do for electricity. We can put in solar mills if you want to. The only thing we don't have is like the hydroelectric, so no dams. Wait, are the chickens doing their thing? Where they at? I heard one. Are they having a meeting? This is where the chicken cult is. I know I just heard a chicken. I heard a rooster. Where are the chickens? Sometimes they're over here, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're out in the middle of this field out here. There's some animals there, some sheep. Are they out here in this field? Sometimes they're out here. Well, there is a goat. The spinning goat. Why? Why? You almost want to play the song. There's either a haunting out here or we're being invaded. It might be Independence Day all over again, but they're after the goats. I don't know why he's doing that. I don't see the chickens though. They're not out here. Sometimes they're out here in the field. Oh wait, there they are. There are some out here. Okay, there's two roosters out here. Y'all about to fight? They're just kind of checking each other out. Do y'all see the goat over there spinning around? Is that what y'all are discussing? I don't see any chickens though. I see the roosters and the goat. And then these guys down here. I think this is supposed to be like a petting zoo or something down here. I don't know. It's a little weird with the goat over there spinning around in circles. He either ate something that he probably shouldn't have, or we're being invaded. They're after the goat cheese. That's why they've come to our planet. They want the goat cheese. They want all the goat cheese. My grandpa used to talk about goat cheese all the time. I'm sure he probably ate it all the time. I have never had goat cheese. I've had Velveeta cheese and Sargento, and I'm sure probably Kraft it somewhere along the line there, but never goat cheese. I think those have all been pretty much cow cheese. Ooh, you had to work from 5 p.m. to 7 a.m. or to 1 a.m. Oh, wow, even 1 a.m. on July 4th. That's fun. It was good. I had a burger and made some hot dogs and listened to all the boom boom bang bangs and stuff outside. And one thing about the deep south is fireworks are great, but the mosquitoes are not. And we got the mosquitoes. I've seen fireworks before, you know, in real life. But I'm not gonna risk catching West Nile virus or malaria or, you know, some other type of mosquito virus thing. Plus, I don't want all the mosquito bites because they itch. So I'm gonna pass on those. Yeah, just keep in mind when you download the Stevie FS mod packs, you're gonna want to download those in order. Or if you see something that you like, sometimes he re-releases it in a later mod pack. So if you download a mod in, say, one of the later mod packs and you go back to one of the earlier mod packs and download it, that combine or tractor might not be the updated version of that combine or tractor. So the best thing to do is to download the mod packs in order. Download a mod pack, say mod pack 1, and then install those mods. Or if you've got the room, do a separate file with just his mods in it, and then when you download like a later mod pack, move those files into that folder, and then just say replace. If there's already something in there with that file name, more than likely it's an update to one that he's already done. So I know that 19 has got an update to 1 in there. I forgot what it was about, but it does have an update to a combine, I think, in there. Yep, I got to learn how to do all that stuff there. I might get another full load off of this field. We're up to 117, so I can go back and pay some more on the loan. Get us down to 2.4. don't think I'll be able to get all of the rest of this, but I'll come back and hit it when we go down to the big field down there. And I might, all the straw from the big field down there, I might just store that at the blue farm. Either the blue farm or the brown farm down here. I'll store some at the blue farm, and if it fills up, I'll store some over here at the brown farm, instead of just selling it right now, because the prices I think will go up slightly in the winter. That'll save us from having to drive all the way. Still think the closest place would be the farmer's market up the mountain here. I don't know, it's not too bad of a drive. But funny, I've never seen a spinning go down in the field though. Alright, I think before we head back, I'm going to take my break, and then I shall return. Alright, I will be back.